Coming to you from the My Little Falls studio here in beautiful Little Falls, New York. It's your host, Scott Kinville, and another episode of Marty's Illegal Stick.
And what's up, hockey fans, and welcome to episode number 25 of Marty's Illegal Stick, recording on May 13th, 2021. I can't believe we're up to 25 already. Quarter of a century, guys. We're getting old.
I can speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm not taking my hat off to prove just how old I am. So
we can't take the glare from the lights anyway.
That's
so
right.
Don't worry about it.
We had to rearrange the whole studio because of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm Scott Kinville, and today we are going to do our playoff preview show. Every once in a while, we go a show without a guest just so we can all flap our gums for a little bit. But first of all, I want to point out we're not going to have Leo along with us today. He is up watching my nephew's baseball game. Little League Baseball. So everything's good with him. He's just probably going crazy right now trying to figure out why Connor didn't hit a home run. So best of luck, Connor. Go get him, pal. But anyways, we do have our all-star panel with us today. First of all, we do have one person in the studio. Of course, it's our buddy, Dave the Save Warner. What's going on, Dave?
Not too much.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready to learn some playoff knowledge?
I am.
We're going to drop it heavy on you.
I even studied some things just to.
Did you
so
really?
I might be able to put some commentary in.
Really?
But your shirt scared me off.
Well, I got to tell you a little story about this shirt. So, it's funny. I'm glad you pointed that out because I wanted to talk about that.
I wanted to point that out first, just in case.
Well, hey, absolutely. If you can see my shirt, it's got the old Utica Comets colors with the blue and the green and all that. And last night, Wednesday night, was the Comets' last game in Utica as the Vancouver Canucks affiliate. So next year they'll be going to the New Jersey Devils, and I'm figuring they're going to change to either black and red or green and red, up to I'm hoping for. But anyways, as a little homage to the blue and green Comets, I wanted to wear this shirt. When I took it out of my dresser, I just threw it on, and came over. And I didn't realize the collar is all screwed up.
And it looks like it.
Like that commercial. You ever seen it? I forgot what it's for, but the guy goes out on the date and his collar's all messed up. How do you not know?
And he sits there at dinner fidgeting. And
if you're going to go out on a date, especially a first date, how do you not at least take a look in the mirr? I mean, I'm going on a show.
Scott,
right?
I just want to say it's the little things.
It is the little things. That's right. And, speaking of that, that's a great segue. I'm going to bring in our first panelist. We want to thank Del Purrington for pointing that out. Mr. Jeremy Roberts. How you doing, pal?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You ready for this or what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Have you talked to Dale since that?
Oh, of course I have. Of course I have. He actually messaged me, was it last night? And he said, don't forget. And I said, don't forget. So I'm like scrambling. I go, what did I forget? Like his birthday or something else. Said, don't forget the little things. I said, I'm like, all right, fine. You know what? I go, it's payback's gonna come. Payback's coming. So.
I'm sure you liked the segue there, Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
I really, I practiced it for hours.
Hey, but you know what though? He's in a much better mood today than he was going into the show yesterday. That's a good thing. Yeah. That's a real good thing. And our other panelist making his grand return to the show after being away for a few weeks, we finally got him out of work. The Emmy Award-winning Shikutami, Rich Masucci. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, Emmy Award-winning. Listen, I tell you what, man. The last time I was on, you guys told me that I looked like I was sitting in a dark closet. So I decided to take it outside today. So
that's really cool. You are actually outside. I thought maybe you invested in a green screen or something.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, guys, the playoffs are here. They're going to start this Saturday. So with them getting ready to start this Saturday, it is time to do our playoff preview show. And the playoff format this year harkens back to the 80s when the top 4 teams in each division made the playoffs, and the first 2 rounds of the playoffs were all intra-division. The difference this season is there is no conference championships, and instead the winners of the 4 divisions will be reseeded to determine who faces who. So with all that said, are you guys ready to get this show on the road?
Of course.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you're both big East Division fans, so I want to let you build up to that. And we're going to start as far away from the East as we possibly can, and we're going to start with the West Division. Okay, the one division that's actually got a little bit of a scramble left. So tonight's games will determine who wins that division. Right now, Vegas is in the driver's seat there, number 1. However, if the Colorado Avalanche beat my LA Kings, which could very well happen, they will clinch the division and win the President's Trophy. Now, for argument's sake, we're going to have Vegas slated as the number one in the division. Hopefully the Kings can pull off a miracle tonight. I doubt it. But anyways, if we started tonight, the playoffs would look like this. The Vegas Golden Knights with 80 points will be playing the St. Louis Blues with 59 points. They finished fourth in the West. So I'm going to give you a little rundown on the stats here, and I'm going to have you guys tell me what you think. Overall, for the power play, the Vegas Golden Knights were 18.2% this year, which is 22nd in the league. And the St. Louis Blues were 21.9, which is 9th. On the penalty kill, the Vegas Golden Knights were 86.7, which is the best in the league. And the St. Louis Blues are 77.1%, which qualifies them for 27th. In the season series, the Vegas Golden Knights won it by a score of 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss. So, Jeremy, I'm going to go to you first. Who's going to win this series and in how many games?
St. Louis in 6.
St. Louis in 6. We got our first upset. All right. Why are you going with St. Louis?
Playoffs are a different beast. It's not about the season records and everything else. I think that St. Louis is just going to put it together. They don't have, they're a good squad, and I know Vegas is also a strong squad, but I think that their little glamour and the limelight there is just going to be it's kind of gone now. They had a strong first season, obviously, when they first came into the league. And then, they've been strong ever since. But I just think St. Louis is just too strong, and they're just going to put it together and have the upset.
So you're saying the bright lights are going to turn into a glimmer?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I like it. Rich, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to break your heart, Scott. I'm going to go with Vegas. I don't think there's going to be any upset in there. They've been dominant pretty much all year. St. Louis, I don't really see them as being the big formidable team they were a couple years ago. I still think that the Golden Knights have one of the best 1-2 combinations for goaltenders in Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Lehner. I don't know. You said 6-game upset? I don't know. I'm going to say 5 games Vegas. That's my
Well, that's could very well happen. And I'm going to tell you, Rich, I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to agree with you. It's going to be Vegas in 6, though. It's going to be Vegas in 6. Now, you're right, Jeremy, that the playoffs are a completely different animal. And actually, the St. Louis Blues are built for the playoffs. Don't forget they're Stanley Cup champs 2 years ago.
Right.
But I think in this situation, Vegas is just going to be too much for them. St. Louis will be playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Don't forget their former captain, Alex Pietrangelo, signed with the Vegas Golden Knights in the offseason.
Right.
So don't think that they're not going to want to knock him out.
Right.
And I do have to wonder, who is Vegas going to go with in the net? Are they going to stick with Fleury? Are they going to go to Lehner? Are they going to try to do a one-on, one-off kind of thing? I don't know.
See, that's the other thing that I was thinking of with this whole thing is that, it's one thing to play a team so many games throughout the year. Obviously, with this COVID year, it's a little different. But to repeatedly beat the same team over and over and over and over and over again, and then meeting them in the playoffs, and who knows, both those goalies, they're goalies, so they have a head case already. And if you're not gonna stick with a starter, you're gonna kind of light the fuse to have that almost implode, almost like Boston did last year in the playoffs. You had Tuukka or what's his face take off.
Halak.
Yaroslav Halak just left. They're in a Stanley Cup chase, and he just left the team, up and gone.
Actually, it was Rast that left. You're right. I'm sorry.
Was it Tuukka?
Yeah, it was.
So, I just, having all those factors in, Vegas is on paper a way better team. But I just think with the playoffs and the superstitions and, which goalie is going to start here, which goalie is going to start there. What are they going to do? They're going to start Fleury. He could go off and have a shutout game and then start Lerner right behind him. What are you going to do? And that's going to break a goaltender's mindset right then and there.
Sure.
So I just think that's why I picked St. Louis, and I might as well just throw it out there.
Hey, go with it and run with it, brother. You never know. You could be right.
Hey, I'm hot already.
Right.
I hit it big on the Kentucky Derby, so I might as well just stay with it.
It's the little things, man. It's the little things.
What'd you pick, the number 2 horse?
No, I went 7, 8, 9, and 10.
All right, so we got one St. Louis and two Vegas picks. Moving right along. Right now, the Colorado Avalanche are the number 2 seed in the West Division, and the Minnesota Wild, who have put together one heck of a season, are the number 3 seed. Right now, Colorado has 78 points. They got one game left tonight. Minnesota has 75 points. On the power play, Colorado is 22.9, which is good for 7th in the league. And the Minnesota Wild are 18.1%, which is 23rd. On the penalty kill, the Colorado Avalanche are 82.7, which is 8th in the league. And the Minnesota Wild are 82.2%, which is 9th. The season series has Colorado winning 5 of the 8 games that they've played. So, Rich, I'll go to you first this time. Who wins this series?
Well, I'm going to say something right away. But, like, what is the status on McKinnon? Did we find that out for certain?
He'll be back for the playoffs.
He is. Because they were saying should be. He should be. And that's a huge one. If there is something wrong there, this goes way over. But otherwise, I would go with Colorado. I mean, Landeskog and Ratman. I mean, that's the line, man. That has been the line. And I really Minnesota sneak in there and get a couple games, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. I mean, the fact that they're literally playing tonight, right, for first place. How do you go against them? I don't know.
Right.
In Minnesota, every year when I give them the credit and I go, this is here, they make some noise, they go in and they just so I don't have faith in them until they show me something. So Colorado, but this is going to go the distance, man. I'm going to say Colorado in 7.
Wow. Yeah, the Minnesota Wild can be like Charlie Brown Lucy in the football at times, can't they?
Yeah.
So with that said, Jeremy, what's your pick?
I'm going Minnesota in 7.
Minnesota in 7. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at Rich.
Oh, man.
I got to go with the old Ranger boys. I got to go with Zuccarello and Cam Talbot. Talbot, he'll throw it together in net. And Zook's just that leader on the ice to begin with. But, I mean, the state of Minnesota, I mean, yeah, it's a little different. But I don't know. I just, West Coast hockey, obviously, I don't follow too much. But the games I do follow, I mean, Colorado, again, great team. I'm just going to pick the underdog and go with Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, Dean Evison, their coach, has done a heck of a job with that team this year.
And, like Rich said, it's, you pick Minnesota and, this is going to be their year. They're going to do it. And then they tank. I agree with you 100% on that. That is one of those teams that's like, yes, they're going to do it. And then they don't do anything. I just think this year that they will, I don't know, they'll get through. They'll beat Colorado, but I don't see them going anywhere further than that.
Well, I commend you for going out on a limb. That's you got a couple of heck of a picks there. But I'm going to say, with the Minnesota Wild, it's all going to come down to Kirill Kaprizov. I mean, this guy's been phenomenal for them this year, and he's going to have to continue into the playoffs. But unfortunately, for the land of 1,000 lakes, Colorado's just got way too much. I mean, Cal McCarr. I mean, we talk about their top line all the time. Look at their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Cal McCarr, you got Samuel Girard. I mean, they got the list just keeps going on and on. Their second line is ridiculous. Now, Burakovsky's been playing out of his mind. Nazem Kadri's playing really well. Brandon Saad's turned it on. I just think at the end of the day, there's just way too much Avalanche for the Wild to handle. And I think it's going to be Avalanche in 6.
Well, the other problem is that those two teams aren't even going to meet because Colorado's going to take care of LA tonight. So,
well, probably.
Then all these picks are going to go out the window.
Well, most likely, but we had to start sometime, right? So then we'll circle back and we'll finish the West Division off. So, Jeremy, you've got St. Louis and Minnesota in the second round of the West. Who's winning that series?
I'll go Minnesota. I'll stay with Minnesota.
All right. I'll tell you that would be a fun matchup. That would be two heavy teams taking on each other. That'd be what they call one of those blood and guts series.
Oh, yeah, that'd be old time fun hockey to watch. I think they'd bang each other a lot, and I think Minnesota would just come out on top of that. Only
Right.
because, you look at St. Louis and they're built for the playoffs, but they're not built for the heavy team that Minnesota is going to throw at them. So I just think Minnesota would just take out St. Louis.
And let me guess, Zook would score the game-winning goal to win the series.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So, Rich, you have got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche playing in the second round. Who takes that series?
Oh man, you mean when it happens?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, I think it's Vegas, man. I know you hate them, Scott. I know you hate them, but I'm all in on them, man. That's a team. They grind. They're a heavy duty team, doing it all year. That's going to be a close series. I wouldn't be surprised if the winner of that goes to the Cup. But I will say Vegas.
I'll tell you that would be a fantastic series, actually. And you're right, that could actually be a Stanley Cup final in the second round.
Right.
And I too have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche meeting in the second round, but I am going with Colorado in 7.
Ooh, all right.
Wow.
I think Colorado is stronger down the middle than Vegas is. And when you are in playoff hockey, you start from the goaltending, which they can match up because Grubauer has been fantastic this year.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt who their goaltender is, right? I think they're a little bit stronger on defense, and they are more certainly stronger down the middle, especially with Nate McKinnon. So it'll be an exciting series for sure. But I'm going to say Colorado in 7.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Either
there
way.
it is. And we're probably all wrong. So
Well, I mean, we're all
After tonight.
yeah, this may be completely wrong anyway.
Yeah,
So
within like 2 hours after the show.
that's still Marty's illegal stick, though.
Yeah.
So moving right along, gentlemen, let's tackle the Central Division, shall we? We got the number 1 seeded Carolina Hurricanes with 80 points taking on the Nashville Predators with 64 points. On the power play, Carolina was 25.6%, which is good for second in the league, and Nashville was 17.6%, which is 24th. On the penalty kill, Carolina was 85.2, which is third in the league, and Nashville was 75.4, which is 29th in the league. For the season series, Carolina won it, winning 6-2. Jeremy, who's taking this series?
Carolina. Carolina's just too strong. Nashville had that nickname put in Smashville, and they're just not that team anymore. Carolina's way too strong in this series. I don't want to say a sweep, but they'll win it in 5, and it's not even going to be close.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there, Rich. What do you say?
I say the same, man. I mean, when you look at that, like you said, power play for Carolina, second, and 29th for the penalty kill for Nashville. Stay out of the box. Stay out.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And like I look at it, UC Saros has been mostly decent this year, but Carolina, man, they're just too strong right now. They really. And I'm going to take something back. I said that this was a weak division a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to go and I'm going to eat my words. So, yeah, Carolina's the real deal, man. They really are.
Would you like some ketchup with that so you can eat those words or what? Well, I'm going to make this a unanimous decision, and I'm going to go with Carolina in a sweep. We forget that at one point Nashville was left for dead. They were going to be the big sellers at the trade deadline, and I give them credit. They picked themselves up and they went on a nice winning streak to get back into contention, and it helped that Chicago faded down the stretch. But I just think there's way too much here for Nashville to handle. Their scoring is almost non-existent unless their defensemen are scoring. UC Saros has had a great run, but there's just too much here, way too much. So I don't really think we need to spend too much more time on this series. So
no. That one's right in the bag.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is the one I can't wait for. The number 2 Florida Panthers with 79 points versus the number 3 Tampa Bay Lightning with 75. On the power play, Florida Panthers were 20.5%, which is good for 15th in the league, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are 22.4%, which is 8th. On the penalty kill, the Florida Panthers are 79.8%, 17th in the league, and Tampa Bay is 84.2%, which is 4th. The season series went 5-2-1 favoring Florida. So, Jeremy, who's going to win the Battle of the Sunshine State?
You know, I'm starting to see a trend that I'm picking here. You know, between me picking Minnesota and all the old Rangers, Carolina and all the old Rangers, I'm going to stick with Tampa Bay with all the old Rangers. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the hometown guy with the Syracuse Crunch just down the road. But I think Tampa Bay will put it together, and they know how to win when they need to win. And I think that's what they'll do. Florida's going to buckle under the pressure. I mean, when was the last time that they were even relevant in hockey? They have a very good squad this year. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that they're going to be in a culture shock saying, hey, all right, we made it to the first round. We're done.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
You know, we're in the bright light now. Okay, let's wait till next. We're here. Now what do we do with it? They won't know how to get there. And Tampa Bay knows how to move on and grind. Now, if it goes 7 games, it goes 7 games, but it's going to be a brutal 7 games for Florida because I think Tampa Bay is just going to lay it to them.
Okay, Rich.
It's weird that we're going to agree on this because because we've been kind of off on it so far. I want Florida to win. Don't get me wrong. You know, Florida needs something, man. And they've had way too much of a bad run over, well, forever. And you know, it's a feel-good story, but I got to be honest with it. Tampa, that's a different animal, man. They've been here before. And I think the experience will start to come out. Just like we were saying, that's a team that's been doing this year after year and been successful and knows how to win a cup. Obviously, you know. Plus Vasilevsky, you know,
yeah,
I got all the faith in the world for him. There's a lot of talent on Florida. Huberdeau's had a great season, but I think it comes to an end. I think this is the end for it. It's going to be a good series, though, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree. They're calling what are they calling that? The Alligator Alley Showdown or whatever they're calling
something like that. Yeah, something like that. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to be the contrarian here, and even though Tampa Bay is getting Nikita Kucherov back, I would hope he's ready since he's been practicing for about 9 weeks now. So you got to feel that he's ready. They're saying Stamkos is going to be back as well. However, I think this is Florida's series. You know, Don't forget something. Florida has Joel Quenneville as their coach. Joel Quenneville's been there and done that. You know, and Sergei Bobrovsky is finally starting to look like Sergei Bobrovsky again. People forget he was a 2-time Vezina Trophy winner.
Yeah,
and maybe
every time he gets in the playoffs, he bombs.
Yeah, but not necessarily. He beat Tampa Bay a few years ago. You know?
Yeah.
So, and maybe this is just me wanting this to happen, and more or less for the game of hockey, because this is what hockey needs in Florida right now. If Florida can manage to pull this off and upset Tampa Bay, you have got screaming instant rivalry now. Because they share a state, but they've never really met in any kind of significant game, right?
And that's what I said. They're like, they haven't been relevant ever.
Right.
I mean, John Van Beesbrook might have been the last time that they were relevant.
Right. And back then, Tampa Bay was, 40 points a year? You know? Yeah. So,
right.
I mean, they were playing out of the state fairgrounds, I think, still. So, so like I said, this is just me on a gut feeling, and I think that, I think it's going to be Florida in 6. I'm not overly confident with that pick, but something is telling me. Something's telling me.
We haven't really mentioned it yet, but a lot of these teams with the COVID, how are they allowed? What are they doing for fans? Are they doing the whole what they've been doing? Because that's another beast too. You got to add fans into, fans in Nashville are crazy. Fans in Tampa Bay are crazy. Fans in Las Vegas are crazy.
I think that's going to be a fluid situation because the CDC did announce today that they're lifting the mask mandates.
Yes.
Or the recommendations or whatever for fully vaccinated people. So that could change everything too.
Yeah. Well, even indoors.
Indoors. If
the NHL jumps on that.
I think that's going to be up to each state though, ultimately what they're going to allow. But
well, Florida's been, they haven't listened to anybody at all anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Right.
New York, we're going to have burlap bags over our heads for the next 6 months anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Don't say that, please.
Hey, Cuomo did say that we can go to an outdoor stadium and have a vaccinated section and a non-vaccinated section. How that's going to work, I have no idea.
Well, and actually, I don't even want to talk about COVID right now because let's not get sidetracked into that. I'm not falling into that pit.
We're going to start some crap.
Staying with hockey. Okay.
It's the little things. Stay with the hockey.
It's the little things.
Yes,
That's
it's
right.
the little things, yes.
Okay, so we've got our second round for the Central Division. Jeremy, you've got Carolina and Tampa Bay, which was going to be one hell of a series. Who's going to win it?
Oh, wow. The battle of the farm teams of the Rangers. Let's go with Carolina. I'll go with Carolina in 7. I'll go Carolina 7.
Carolina in 7. Interesting. Rich.
I'm going to say Carolina too, man. If there was ever going to be their year, this is it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would say 7. I'm actually going to go a little bit against that. I'm going to go 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Listen, Tampa knows, and me saying this now that I'm like, oh, Tampa, they got the experience and this and that. But I don't think that's not the same team. It's just not. I mean, it's
right. It's not.
They're getting older, and we've seen what happens with older teams. Washington, Pittsburgh. That's it. So, but Carolina's. How do you say it? They're full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
You ever wonder what that smells like? I hate that saying for that reason. I mean,
Why? Why would you even? Why would you even wonder what that smells like?
Because you just said it. But anyways, let's not get sidetracked into that either. Okay, let's not get sidetracked into that. So my finals, my Central Division final, has Carolina and Florida, and I'm going to go Florida in 7.
What?
Listen. You guys forget too.
Both of them simultaneously.
I love it. They're still thinking about the earlier comment. That's it.
This is why you're a Kings fan.
Well, at least not a
2 words.
A Ducks fan.
2 words. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think they have all 5. So that's 2 words. Sasha Barkov, the most underrated player in the NHL. Yeah. And I think this is going to be the playoffs where he shows up and he puts himself on the map. And if there's somebody who can shut down Sebastian Aho, it's Sasha Barkov. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Sticking to it. There you go.
And I don't care what you guys say.
I'm actually speechless. Okay, whatever. All right.
I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah, it's the little things, right?
Well, I was going to say I just achieved the impossible, but that's okay. So, before we get sidetracked again, why don't we move to the North Division, shall we? The North Division has the division-winning Toronto Maple Leafs with 76 points against the number 4 Montreal Canadiens with 58 points. On the power play, Toronto was 20.3, which is 16th in the league. Montreal at 19.3, which is 19th. The penalty kill has Toronto at 77.7, which is 24th in the league, and Montreal at 79.3 at 18th. The season series favors the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-2-1. Rich, who wins it?
Well, I'm going to go with Toronto, obviously, because I mean, there's a lot of star power there. I mean, Toronto, they've been great for a long time. But that being said, you're asking the guy that knows better than to go against Montreal. I know that all too well from last year. They did have a couple guys in there that had nice seasons. Nick Suzuki, man, where did he come from? He had a great season. And Toffoli, I mean, great season, but still, you're talking Matthews, Tavares, Mitch Marner. That's a lot. That's a really, really talented team. I mean, it could be close, but I don't think it will.
Okay. Well, with that said, how about you, Jeremy? What do you think?
I agree. Toronto. Toronto's built for now. Montreal is built for, the next coming seasons. Don't get me wrong. The Canadian playoffs are a beast to pick, and it's not even, you don't know. But like Rich said, with the star power that Toronto has, you really can't go against it because they're built for now. Montreal, again, they could shock us. You don't want to pick against them, but it's one of those matchups that you look at it on paper and you got to go, yeah, it's Toronto. So yeah, Toronto.
So for the reason you just stated, I'm going Montreal.
Of course you are.
They're getting Carey Price back. He's going to be back.
Sold.
It's okay. Look what he did last year.
It's old.
Right, Rich? Look what he did last year.
Hey,
You know what? I know how stacked Toronto is. They have to make it out of the first round sometime this decade before I'll pick, or even in the past 10 years before I'll pick them. I've been burned by that too many times. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm going Montreal with the upset.
True.
I'm going Montreal.
how many games, Scott?
6.
Wow. Okay.
They're going to win it at the Bell Center.
Wow.
Now, as I say that, Toronto will probably sweep them, but that's okay. Now, the next series could be really interesting. The Edmonton Oilers with 70 points are taking on the Winnipeg Jets, who have 61 points. On the power play, Edmonton is 27.4, good for the best in the league, while Winnipeg is at 23.1, which is 6th. On the penalty kill, Edmonton is 82.1, which is 11th. Winnipeg is 80.3, which is 14th. And Edmonton won the season series 7-2. Jeremy, who's advancing?
Draisaitl, McDavid. I mean, really? Do I need to say anything more? I mean, who honestly can stop those guys? I mean, it's almost like they probably look at each other in the locker room and says, all right, do we want to score or do we want to keep it close? Or do we want to blow these guys out or do we want to just have a practice against another team? Because those guys are unstoppable. When they want to turn it on, they'll turn it on and they'll annihilate any team in the NHL. And you got Milan Lucic as well. So, I mean,
No, they don't. He's in Calgary.
Oh, that's right. He did. That's right. Correct. But I just think Edmonton is just too strong against this Winnipeg Jet team.
Okay. Rich?
Well, I'm going to agree with that, and I'll tell you why. Not only do you have that 1-2 combination with Draisaitl, and you know, I know he gets credit, but he's outstanding. He really is. And of course, McDavid, that goes without saying. What did he just pass like 100? Was it 100?
Up to 104, I think.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in like what do we have? 58 game season. That's nuts, man. He's on a different level. But the other that kind of puts me in a different spot with it is Hellebuck. What happened to him? He kind of fell apart, man. I get it. You know, it's like a whole team effort there, but he's like a turnstile lately. Every night he's letting in like 4 or 5 goals. You're going to put them against those two, and he's going to get destroyed. That's what's going to happen. So I have no faith right now at all in Winnipeg.
Yeah, you're right. The whole team seemingly fell apart. And the sad part is up until about a month ago, they were my pick to come out of that division because they looked like they were the most ready and built for the playoffs. They had it all at one point: goaltending, right, defense, scoring. They are getting Nick Ehlers back for the playoffs. But you know what? And the question mark I have about Edmonton, you guys are right. Obviously, McDavid, Draisaitl, another level in this world. But as these playoffs progress, who is going to stop the puck for them?
Mike Smith.
That's what I mean. You know, Mike Smith he's a switch. He's either unstoppable. You know, he can stop anything, or he can't stop a beach ball.
Well,
and the same can be said for Mikko Koskinen. So
you finally found something I can do.
Yeah, there you go.
The save with a beach ball.
I can't wait for that either.
I'll play beach ball hockey.
Okay, and we're getting a video for it.
Broom ball. We can broom
ball. There you go.
Old school broom ball.
Yep.
But ultimately, it's Edmonton coming out of this series. So I can't believe it. We're all in agreement. This is unreal.
I was waiting for you to pick Winnipeg.
I'm telling you, 6 weeks ago, I would have had to think about it. I would have had to think about it. But you know, guys, this is one of those series, or this is one of those seasons where upsets can be more likely to happen.
Yeah, that's
you think about it.
I always throw in the whole it's the COVID year, so because you never know.
Right,
but
exactly.
I think Edmonton's just too. Those two are just on a whole other level.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys have got a couple of fun series to decide here then, because Jeremy, you got Toronto and Edmonton next in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who wins that series?
Edmonton. Reason being, I don't think Toronto is built really for the bodies that the Edmonton Oilers are going to throw at them. The moment I think that Toronto starts getting banged around a little bit, they're not going to like it, and it's going to shut them down, which is going to all of a sudden open the lanes up for Draisaitl and McDavid. So I think it's just going to be Edmonton taking out Toronto.
Yeah, and plus you got to question Toronto's goaltending.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Jack Campbell. Has been a great story. But, I mean, Freddie Anderson's now coming back. That's going to be kind of a mess. Rich, what do you think?
1A, 1B. I don't know.
Flip a coin.
Great series. If you ask me again in 5 minutes, I'll probably have a different answer. But for right now, I'm going to say Toronto. And exactly for that goaltending situation. You're right. I mean, Smith and Koskinen, I don't know. That's a little suspect. It could go either way. And I would have to say 7 games no matter where it went. Toronto.
I would hope so, because that'd be a fun series.
Yeah.
That would be a really fun series. Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The only thing I can say about it is that Toronto, see, this is me going back and forth. They both really need this. They both really do, because for the past few years, they both underachieved, both teams. And we've always wondered, like, wow, when is Toronto going to get out of their way? And then we always wondered, like, hey, when is Edmonton going to take that next step? They both need this. They both do.
Right.
I really don't know.
Well, that's you're right. I mean, I'll tell you what, I would hope that would go 7 games, because that would be a great series to watch.
Yeah, that'd be a fun series.
Now, of course, mine couldn't happen because I had to be the hockey Grinch and pick Montreal. But the Cinderella ride ends there. I just think Edmonton is going to be way too much for Montreal, even with Carey Price. I'm kind of starting to see Edmonton catching fire at the right time as well. Again, their goaltending scares me a little bit. It really makes me nervous, but I think to get out of that division, they got good enough goaltending. And when you've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you can outscore a lot of mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's Edmonton for me, boys.
Yep. Wow, look at that.
That's because they have Connor McGregor, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, they need an enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take him down.
So I'm going to move on to your guys' favorite division, the East. And here we go. The number 1 Pittsburgh Penguins with 77 points versus the number 4 New York Islanders with 71. On the power play, Pitt was 23.7%, which is good for 4th in the league. And the Islanders were 18.8%, which is 21st. On the penalty kill, Pittsburgh is 77.4% for 26th, while the Islanders were 83.7 for 6th. This season series is 6-2, favoring Pittsburgh. Rich Masucci, your pick, please.
Well, I mean, you got to ask me.
All right, moving on to Jeremy.
You know why though? I'm gonna use my smarts here. Pittsburgh is getting everybody back. They're starting to become healthy, which is something they haven't had in a long time. Malkin's been out for, it seems like he's been out forever. And Tanev, he's coming back. I guess that could potentially kind of screw things up. Jeff Carter has been outstanding.
Yeah, what'd you guys do to him anyway?
It's something in the Pittsburgh water. That one, that all about. But the other thing about it too is that the Islanders haven't looked exceptionally well in the last few weeks. They just haven't. And I think Varlamov is going to be, he'll be the difference maker if this series goes anywhere. Pittsburgh is right now, they're playing too good of hockey. I think so. That's my one-sided biased opinion. So we'll see.
Well, I thought maybe you would surprise me, but I guess not. Jeremy, who you got?
The Rangers?
Sabres, Jeremy.
Yeah, no way. I'm agreeing with Rich on this one. Pittsburgh, like you said, the Islanders have just all of a sudden gone cold. They looked good, but then they have these streaks where they're not even there. Nothing's working, and you don't know what you're going to really get in that from night to night. So yeah, Pittsburgh and 6. I wanted to say 5, but I want to keep these Eastern series. All they like to do is beat each other up. So I mean, it doesn't really, it's 5, 6, 7. They're all going to get bruised up and banged up anyway. So I think let's just go right in the middle and pick the 6th spot.
Well, you know what? You just hit the nail right on the head. These Eastern series, they love to beat each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go with Pittsburgh in the worst way because my mind is saying, or my heart, mind, whatever, is saying, yeah, look at them on paper. Look at it. But do you bet against Barry Trotz and that system, which is designed for the playoffs? And yes, you're right. They're absolutely stone cold right now. And sometimes they can't score to save their lives. But this is a playoff series.
Right.
And if Semyon Varlamov finds his form again, with that system in place, they're going to be hard to beat. And they're so strong down the middle. Again, it goes right back to centers, So I'm going to be the contrarian once more time, and I'm going to go with the Islanders in 6. Sorry, Rich.
That's crazy talk, Scott. Crazy talk. I don't know what he's got in this drink over here, guys.
Somebody's got to be different, okay?
Yeah. Well,
I'm pretty good at
that one's all yours.
That's way off the grid.
Okay, well, the other matchup is the number 2 Washington Capitals with 77 points versus the number 3 Boston Bruins with 73 on the power play. Power play, Washington was 24.8, with which is good for 3rd in the league. Boston is 21.9, which is 9th. In the penalty kill, the Washington Capitals are 84%, which is 5th, and the Boston Bruins are 86, which is 2nd. And they split the series 4-4. Jeremy, who's taking this one?
I don't know. I have no idea. This, I hate both teams anyway.
Jeez. Rough.
You look at Ovechkin and you look at Oshie and you look at that whole roster, and they're good. Yes, they're very good. Same with Boston. You got the Rat, and you got, I don't even care who else is on that line, but it's just, and now they added Taylor Hall, and it's almost like finally they put together another line that can produce, which was scary because the first line, nobody could stop. I don't know. I honestly, this series is going to, it's going to go 7 games or it's going to be a sweep. I don't know. And it's going to, you can go either way. They could flip flop night after night, or it's just going to be one team taking it all. And my gut is saying that it's going to be Boston, only because when they want to turn it on, they'll turn it on against anybody. You know what Washington's going to do? They're going to set Ovi top of the circle and set him up for the one-timer, regardless if it's a power play or if it's even strength. That's what they're going to do. Oshie's going to sit in the middle. But Boston, I don't know. It's a toss-up, and I don't know. I have no idea. I'll go Boston.
Wait, I was going to say, you got to pick one.
I'll go Boston in 7.
Boston in 7. Okay. Rich, what you got?
I'm going to tell you what, this is the series, even though, of course, I'm looking forward to Pittsburgh. This is the series that I want to see more than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a bruising series. And, man, I mean, Boston right now, Boston is playing out of their minds. Marchand is playing out of his mind. He's playing like he's up from a different planet right now. That whole perfection line, it's just, they're hard to compete against.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do realize, Washington is always, they're always there, man. And there's nothing that I should really look down on them for. But at the same time, the one thing they're not right now is they're not healthy. They got a lot of injuries on that team. I think Oshie's out. I'm trying to remember who else is out. They lost everybody. Kuznetsov is out. I think he's more of like a COVID.
The COVID thing, yeah.
But who else is on there? Oh, Carlson. Carlson is injured right now too. That's going to be the big thing. And actually, Ovechkin hasn't been healthy the last couple of weeks. He has different injuries on. That could be the deciding factor, because you start getting into a game like I fully expect, where everybody's throwing bodies around. Man, those injuries are going to pile up, and you've got an old team in Washington they're not going to last with that. So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and you know, you can say, like, for Washington, I do like the fact that Orlov is playing on that line with Schultz. That's been a great line. But I'll tell you what, man, I don't think this is going to go well for them. There's too much age there, and it's too physical of a series. So
I'm assuming you're going with Boston.
Oh yeah,
You've disappointed Jamie.
yeah.
The other big thing is that you got Chara coming back to Boston. I mean, obviously they played in the regular season, yeah, but now you're playing in a playoff. What playoffs a different beast again? We've all said it, and who knows what mental state he's really going to be in? Is he going to be nostalgic? Is he going to be all there? He's obviously going to be there, but is he going to start thinking, wow, like this is what this team really looks like on the other side?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to go with Washington because I think they have one more left. One more. I think this is the end of the line for the Capitals right here as far as being a dominant team. But I think you got to give them the benefit of the doubt here. And there's no particular reason behind it. I just think that, in a physical bruising series like this, Carlson's not a long-term injury. They can get Kuznetsov back at any time. Even with Tuukka Rask, Boston's goaltending has been suspect at times. I mean, it was that Saman or something, right? That kid they brought up. He's been playing great.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
But I think that in a 7-game series, one more for the old guard, and it's going to be the Washington Capitals. So,
well, is Lundqvist dressing at all?
No,
he's done.
He's done for the year. He's done for the year. So we got to get going here, boys. I didn't realize we were around this much time, but give me your picks for the second round. Jeremy, you got Pittsburgh and Boston. Who wins that series?
Rangers. Boston, because I cannot stand Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I hate Boston. I hate Boston just as much, but I hate Pittsburgh more just because I can't stand Crosby. I can't stand him.
So, Rich, I know you're going with Pittsburgh.
Rich has left the room.
Yeah. So in that, I'm going to go with Boston.
Whoa.
Yeah,
wow. Over your Penguins?
Yeah. Yep. If there's anything that's been proven over the course of Sidney Crosby's career, it's that team does not like to play physical. They don't.
No.
Don't let players get in their face and disrupt them. I mean, look at the Islanders. Was it 2 years ago, right? It was like Polak and Pilak both got in Crosby's face, and he did nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I could see this going that way. Boston, throw everything you know about what they've played during the season right out. You said it yourself. When you get into the playoffs, it's a different animal. And Pittsburgh isn't built to grind. They're not.
No.
You start throwing bodies at them, as much as I love them, they're done. So.
Well, hey, you know what? I give you credit for going with your mind and not your heart.
That's why I go.
That's why you are the Emmy Award-winning Shikutami Rich Masucci right there. So I have the Islanders and the Capitals, and I'm sticking with the Capitals because here's the thing. Both teams can bang, right? Washington can score more. And with a team that can grind with them, if the Islanders go into one of their cold goalless streaks, it's going to be over. I mean, even with Barry Trotz. So I think, like I said, one last shot for the Caps, and they're going to get out of this division. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do rapid fire now. I am going to present to you your picks. Because remember, for the third round this year, there's no conferences. It's all points based. So I've been writing it down. That's what I've been doing. If you guys notice, I've been over here scribbling down. So, Jeremy, your final four is the Minnesota Wild with 75 points, the Carolina Hurricanes, with 80 points, the Boston Bruins with 73, and the Edmonton Oilers with 70. So that would mean, let's see, Carolina would be playing Edmonton. Fun series, but who wins it?
Wow. Edmonton.
Edmonton wins it. Okay. And how about Minnesota and Boston? Boston. Okay. So you have an Edmonton Oilers and Boston Bruins Stanley Cup final, reminiscent of the 88 and the 90 finals. No Ray Borks, no Mark Messiers this time.
Yeah.
Who wins it?
Edmonton, because I hate Boston.
So Jeremy has got the Edmonton Oilers winning the cup. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Rich, your final four looks like the Vegas Golden Knights with 80 points, the Carolina Hurricanes with 80, the Toronto Maple Leafs with 76, and the Boston Bruins with 73. Now, I do believe Vegas has the tiebreaker on this one. So it would be the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Boston Bruins.
Oh, man.
Who wins that?
It's a good series.
Yeah.
Wow. Vegas.
Vegas, Viva Las Vegas. All right. Carolina, Toronto.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm glad mine were easy.
Oh, man.
Talk about two young teams that have got a lot of good talent.
I'm going to say Carolina.
Carolina it is. Toronto is out. So that leaves you with the Vegas Golden Knights, Carolina Hurricanes Stanley Cup final. And the winner is...
Not the NHL Network. I'm going to say Carolina.
Carolina. No Vegas. Wow. All right. So we got some upset picks here. I like this. I like this a lot. So mine looks like the Colorado Avalanche was 78, the Florida Panthers was 79, the Edmonton Oilers was 70, and the Washington Capitals was 77. Now, again, this could all change if Colorado wins tonight. But they haven't won the game yet. Okay, so we're going to have to assume that they didn't, which means it'll be the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers in the first game I've got. And I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers. I think Mike Smith.
I thought you were going to say Florida.
No, Mike Smith finds some magic. Mike Smith found he must have found some magic in that old silk hat he found. How do you like that?
I like the little things.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I gotta throw that.
And the other matchup. And the other matchup is the Colorado Avalanche versus the Washington Capitals.
It's a good match.
It is a good matchup. Your friend Tom Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, don't worry about it because Colorado breaks his heart. Colorado takes that series.
Woo.
Okay.
Young legs.
Which leaves a Colorado Avalanche Edmonton Oilers final.
Oof.
And it's Colorado Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
I think Colorado's too much for the defense of Edmonton. I'm sorry. So it'd be good for Connor McDavid to make the final, but alas, he falls to Nate McKinnon.
Oh.
So to recap, Jeremy's got the Edmonton Oilers winning the cup. Rich has the Carolina Hurricanes winning the cup, and I have the Colorado Avalanche winning the cup. We all have a different winner.
Can I put an asterisk for the Rangers winning the cup, or
no?
Figured I'd try.
Negative. So let's see who was right at the end of all this. We should have made a bet.
I bet all three of you lose.
You're probably going to win that one too. So with that said, we're going to wrap up this first segment with, as we always do, Breakaway Trivia. And the question this week for Breakaway Trivia is, I want to know who is the longest serving captain in NHL history? The answer when we come back.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of Little Falls, New York. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, and our events calendar. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling stories about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of local residents and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes store or sign up for our weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
And we're back for segment 2 of Marty's Illegal Stick. Everybody got a chance to take a deep breath after frying our brains over trying to pick out our Stanley Cup champions for this year. So we're going to kick it off like we always do with the answer to Breakaway Trivia. And the question was, who is the longest serving captain in NHL history? Jeremy, who's your guess?
Stevie Yzerman.
Stevie Yzerman. Rich?
I don't even know if he was. I'm thinking of somebody who's been there forever, like Yager. I don't know. I don't even know if he was ever actually even a.
I don't think he was a captain.
I think he's been an assistant. Or
yeah.
I don't know. Yzerman actually sounds good. Paul?
Dave, do you have a guess? I see you got your phone out.
No, I don't have my phone out. Come on. No, I don't have one.
Well, Jeremy wins this week. It is Stevie Y. 1,303 games as captain of the Detroit Red Wings. Because if you recall, they made him captain pretty much as soon as they drafted him, really.
Yeah,
that's he was like 21 years old. And
one of my favorite players. I followed him for so
absolutely.
long. That was like, it's as soon as I heard it, I'm like it's got to be Stevie. I was going to pick him or Fedorov, which I knew. I think Fedorov was a C, but then I think they relinquished it to Stevie Y, didn't they?
No, I don't think Fedorov ever wore the C.
He never wore the C.
Because Stevie Y was still there. I mean,
yeah.
You know. So, good job, Jeremy. Way to go.
You lit the lamp. All right.
All right, moving right along. We got a couple of milestones here. On Wednesday, May 5th, Anze Kopitar of the LA Kings scored his 1,000th NHL point. And on Tuesday, May 11th, Paul Stastny of the Winnipeg Jets played in his 1,000th NHL games. Congratulations to both players. And then on Monday, Connor McDavid scored his 100th point of the season in just 53 games played. That's a 1.9 point per game clip over an 82 game season that would project to 159 points at that pace.
That's crazy.
I think that's actually good for the league, though. I miss those days of having those high point totals. You know, I just do. I can't help it. I grew up on 80s hockey, so you know, I think the league needs more of that. And I think that, you know, with the league going to ESPN and ABC and TNT, I hope they're smart enough to put more Edmonton Oilers games on in the States.
Yeah.
I really do.
They would have to now with all the networks that are going to be able to cover them.
Right, exactly. So good job to Connor McDavid. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do next year over an 82-game schedule. So let's talk about some firings, boys. John Tortorella and Rick Tocchet were let go as head coaches of the Columbus Blue Jackets and Arizona Coyotes, respectively. And the next day, David Quinn of the New York Rangers was fired. So where do you think they're going to land? Torts doesn't surprise me. That you can kind of see that one coming. Tocchet does surprise me a little bit. I think he did the best he could with what he had out in Arizona.
Yeah.
But let's talk about David Quinn for a minute. My question is, and Jeremy, I'll ask you specifically, why would they not do that when they fired JD and Gordon? Just do a clean sweep.
Because Dolan's an idiot.
Fair enough.
I honestly don't know. I think to not make it look like a complete fire sale, even though it's become a fire sale and a dumpster fire again. Obviously, Quinn, I don't think Quinn was the guy to begin with. Good coach in college, sure. But to develop the guys that he has, he's developed the younger guys, sure, and the Ranger squad. You know, with Keandre Miller and Ryan Lindgren and even Lafreniere and Capo Caco. But to get over the hump of an NHL team, he wasn't the NHL guy. Maybe would do well in the AHL. Obviously, he can go back to college, but I don't think he was ever the guy for the Rangers. I like the fact that he had, you know, that young talent. He was able to develop the young talent, but he never had that oomph, like go get it. You know, you never saw him really go get it. He wasn't an NHL coach to say, like, it's almost like he was afraid to get into the players' faces. And you really can't. You can't do that. You know, you got to be able to get in a player's face.
I think spending some time as an NHL assistant would have done him a world of good.
It would have done it. It would have been so beneficial for him. But he just never had that experience, and too bad to have him let go. I mean, I'm more upset that JD was let go, but I think Drury Drury's going to make a big switch. And I think what he's really going to look for is you go back to his Colorado days, and he's going to look for a coach out of that team between Patty Waugh or.
Could you imagine that? Patrick Waugh. Wow.
I mean, or, the other one there that he played with. I think, you look at that team that he even played with Joe Sakic and Hellebuck and all that team was a winning team. And he knows how to win. He knows what he wants. He knows how to get that team where it's got to be, because the Rangers have that. I mean, they're young and they got a lot of top gunners that can really get them over that hump. And they just need that coach to just say, all right, listen, I don't care about your prima donna attitude. You're going to go
like Babcock.
I thought of him as well, but
or Gerard Gallant.
I like Gerard Gallant.
He's out there.
Well.
He's out there.
I wouldn't mind Babcock, but
we'll see. The Babsocks will be back. You get Ranger style ones this time. Rich, does John Torell land on his feet anywhere in the NHL, or is he done?
No, I think he coaches again, man. People are sold on him. They really are. And even though he's got kind of a bad reputation, he always pops up. He's like what was his name? Claude Julien. He's another one, man. They just pop up and you're like, somebody else took him? Why? I don't know. He'll pop up.
Say what you will about Torch, but he gets results.
He does so he'll end up coaching in the NHL again. I think Tocchet goes back to being an assistant. And I don't know what maybe I don't know what's going to go on with others. But
I think he lands somewhere, not right away, but I think he does land somewhere.
Yeah,
I think so.
He won't.
But now we got to pick on
the Rangers.
You never know.
No, him and Drury hate each other. Him and Drury.
Oh, come on! You don't want any more. You don't want the circus anymore. What are you talking about? Come on.
No.
Well, guys, we get to pick on Dave a little bit now. We get to pick on Dave because the Jack Eichel saga in Buffalo just grows more and more and more every day. Did you guys see this? So apparently he wanted to have surgery on his neck, and the team doctors said, no, we want you to try to rehab. And apparently the exit interview did not go all that well. He pretty much blasted the organization, stopped short of demanding a trade, but it really does not look good. I am starting to feel that he's played his last game in Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's real unhappy, yeah.
He is. So, I don't know. Who do you guys think swings for the fences to get him? And what's he worth?
How old is he?
24. He's got 5 more years on his contract at $10 million per season.
I mean, they got to do something with him, obviously, because as we've seen with any sport, with any athlete who doesn't want to be in an organization, if you keep them there too long, they become a cancer in that locker. And that's already happened.
Right.
What about your Kings? Can they use him?
They're in the rumor mill, but the rumored price is Quentin Byfield, 2 first-round picks, and a roster player.
Oh, man.
I don't honestly, guys, I don't see Jack Eichel being worth trading away your top prospect and all kinds of picks. Now, I wouldn't mind trading the first round pick and maybe some in that group of prospects, sure, but I wouldn't trade Quentin Byfield.
No.
And here's the thing. Buffalo has 0 leverage. Who can afford a $10 million season cap hit besides like the Rangers and the Kings? And who has the prospects and the picks to even make a comparable offer? The Rangers and the Kings. So, where's he going to go?
I mean, I wouldn't.
You know what I think Buffalo should do? You know what I think they should do? Honestly, I think that the Pagulas should just kind of say, okay, we're going to lock ourselves in our office and be quiet for a little while. I think they should hire John Davidson to come in and straighten that organization out and let him run it. I really think that. I think that's what Buffalo needs more than anything else right now. I think they need some direction. They need some hockey people to come in and just take over that direction of that team. I mean, Kevin Adams, nice guy. Seems like a real nice guy as their GM, but he's not very experienced. And now you're putting this on his plate. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want hockey guys in there running that ship because right now they're marooned.
Oh yeah.
I think if JD came in, I think the Eichel situation may stop.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think JD would be like, listen, you're here. We're not getting rid of you. Too bad.
Exactly.
On the other hand, if Eichel's dealt away, obviously, like you said, the Kings and Rangers have everything, all the pieces to go with it.
Right.
The Rangers would end up losing Kako,
At the
Kreider.
very least.
Picks.
And here's the thing the Rangers have got to think about too. With Eichel carrying that $10 million per season cap hit, guess who's a UFA at the end of this next season? Zibanejad.
Yeah,
and with the production that he's put up, don't tell me he's not going to want to get paid.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. It's you never know. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. So, but I think we can all agree on that. I think that Buffalo really needs to start with their top end management down.
Yeah.
Well, they can. Why doesn't just Dolan buy the team? Dolan can buy them, and
yeah, you can trade with the Pagulas.
Yeah.
Oh, moving on from Jack Eichel. It's official now. The Utica Comets are now the AHL affiliate of the New Jersey Devils after a 10-year agreement was signed between the two teams. We speculated on it last week. It is now official, guys. So this is why I wore my awesome collar shirt. Old school colors one last time. Most likely the Comets colors will be, see, that's my shirt. Exactly. I wish I could, what? We should intertwine that commercial with the guy at the date that's got his shirt.
Yeah, I'd probably get sued.
Yeah, well, that's okay too.
That and the Zamboni Time Machine.
That's right. We already escaped one trouble.
Yeah, really. Let's bring it on.
So I'm actually, that's going to be pretty cool. You know what I hope? I hope Alexander Holtz starts the season in the AHL next year. Their number 7 pick last year.
Isn't Reed Boucher part of the Devils organization now?
No, he's in the KHL.
Oh, he is. Imagine if he came back.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Imagine if he came back. I mean, that'd be like bringing back Archibald.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what they should do, like a reunion show. Oh, and one last bit of news. The Seattle Kraken have signed their first player, center Luke Henman. I'm sorry, Dave. What were you saying?
No, Rich was trying to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You just
I totally cut him off, didn't I?
You totally did.
I was wondering. I said it's kind of weird, though, that they're going to keep the Comets name and not go back to the Utica Devils.
Well, I guess that was a big part of it with the agreement.
Esch bought the rights to the Devil name, and the Comets stay here in Utica. So the reason being, I believe, behind that was for a throwback night, so they can actually wear their old sweaters and have the Devils logo and have all that stuff go on that way, so they don't get any justification of why they did it, how they did it, who they got to pay, So now, if it's Ash owns it, so he's fine,
right?
But that's his whole background on it of what they're going to do with it. So
very cool, very cool. Which completely overshadows the Seattle Kraken news. So who cares? Because nobody's heard of this guy anyhow. So
I just like the name. I like the name the Kraken. I
think you need a Seattle Kraken hat.
That's a totally cool hat.
I think you need one.
I mean,
when's your birthday?
I'm not saying that on this show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll find out.
You guys would be into the little things again.
And on to bigger things. We're going to close this segment like we always do with Website of the Week. Website of the Week is brought to you by 315hockey.com. 315hockey.com is your news hub for all levels of hockey in Central New York. This week's Website of the Week is hockeysense.substack.com. Hockey Sense is a site run by former ESPN writer Chris Peters that focuses on prospects and drafts. You can sign up for the free newsletter, or if you're really into prospects, there is paid content as well. We interviewed this guy on another podcast I do, the Hockey Royalty podcast, last Tuesday night, and super cool guy. So anyways, that's going to do it for segment 2. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with that Zamboni Time Machine. Right back.
Need to find that gift for someone special? Visit Little Falls Presents at the Stone Mill and Canal Place. Stop by today to find unique artist work, T-shirts, coffee cups, gift towels, greeting cards, tote bags, koozies, and original oil paintings and prints. It's all about the art of the gift. For more information, visit mylittlefalls.com/shop or call 315-508-5310 for details.
And we're back with segment 3 of Marty's Illegal Stick and the Zamboni Time Machine. You know, Rich, I came up with this one with you in mind because I knew you were coming on the show, and I think you're going to like this one.
Hit me with it.
All right. So the Zamboni Time Machine is brought to you by Zamboni.com, and the Zamboni name is used with permission from the Zamboni Company. This week, the Zamboni Time Machine takes us back to 1992 when the Pittsburgh Penguins bought half of the famed Soviet Red Army team, or CSKA as it was known then. By 1992, communism in Russia had fallen, and the old Soviet Union was no more. With Russia suddenly being a free and capitalistic market, many American companies felt there was a lot of money to be made there. Everything was for sale, including the at one time unthinkable, the Red Army hockey team. The owners of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Howard Baldwin and Tom Ruda, put together an investment group that included actor Michael J. Fox and purchased half of the legendary team. The motives were twofold. One was, of course, to make money, but they also wanted to establish a pipeline of suddenly available Russian talent for the Penguins. The investment group sent Stephen Warshaw, who was a marketing whiz for the Penguins, to Moscow to get their operation up and running. Thinking he was about to work with a prestigious, world-renowned team, Warshaw was in for quite a surprise. Upon arriving in the Russian capital, he found that the team was broke, the general manager was drunk more often than not, and they played in a dilapidated arena. But it did have a unique feature. There was a strip club operating out of its basement. One of the first things Warshaw did was rename the team to the Red Penguins in an obvious homage to the new owners. He then put his considerable marketing skills to work. He made the strippers that worked in the club into team cheerleaders, had Boris Yeltsin and Mikhail Gorbachev lookalike nights, free beer nights, and you can imagine how that must have gone, a dancing bear act, and a mascot that didn't always do what he was asked. It all worked, and the Red Penguins became a hit, so much so that the Disney Corporation was actually talking about getting the Mighty Ducks franchise involved. It wouldn't last long, though, as the political climate in Russia changed and things became very dangerous. Disney backed out, and soon thereafter, it all came crashing down. Within a year, the Red Penguins were finished, and that, my friends, concludes this week's trip on the Zamboni Time Machine. Could you imagine that?
I like that.
No. Yes. Maybe.
Yeah, I can. My imagination has gone all kinds of places since you said that.
Well, Jimmy McNeil had the idea for the hot tub Zamboni.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to get a Red Penguin Zamboni. That's what we.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rich? What about those Red Penguins?
We're not hearing you, Rich.
Ooh. Hey, cut out. But anyways, that was for him. All right. So for more on this story, there is actually a movie about it. It's called The Red Penguins. You can rent it on various platforms, Amazon, Vudu, and all that. I plan on doing that this weekend, so I want to watch this. But anyways, that is all we've got for this week's edition of Marty the Legal Stick. As always, you can find us on the web at martyslegalstick.com, where you can also sign up for our mailing list. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Marty's Legal Stick Podcast. For Jeremy Roberts, for Rich Masucci, for Dave the Save Warner, I'm Scott Kinville. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.